Hello. I'm going to speak on about obesity today and what people think it is and what it really is. And this stuff's obviously hard to talk about. So I wrote down a couple of notes. I'm going to read off. What people think obesity is laziness, being a loser, no self-control, pathetic, waste of life. And what they mean by that is, well, I'm not going to say this. They think that people like me and people that's obese are not worth living. And they're here to make fun of and to stare at and, so they make themselves feel better by talking about us. Case in point. Shortly before I started this, me and my son's at Town, and my son's on the bumper cars and I wasn't for obvious reasons. So I'm sitting on this bench, and this little girl was standing. I noticed a little girl standing beside me, so I turned around and looked at her and smiled at her, and she smiled at me. She's standing there, and I look up like this, and her dad had a camera, and I said, "Man, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Well, I want to take a picture of my daughter, the biggest person they ever saw." I said, "I don't want any pictures taken." But knowing I couldn't catch him, he snapped off 4 or 5 pictures anyway, and they just walked away. And as humiliating and embarrassing as that was, I want to thank that guy. And the reason I want to thank him is because and I want to thank everybody who looked down on me, made fun of me, poked at me, whatever, because if it wasn't for all that negative criticism, I don't know if I could have got pissed off enough to do what I'm doing. And on days that's hard for me to work out, there's my memory bank. What obesity was to me. I want everybody to know that my obesity at 760 pounds was unlike anybody I've ever seen. Reason being is because I worked. I was not home ridden. I was able to get to my truck, get off my truck, and go up on my backhoe and dig ditches. It wasn't a very physical job, of course. All I do is just move levers, and but I was able to work all through. Most people that weigh like I weighed are homebound. They can't hardly get up or down. They gotta have help showering and all that stuff. But I was not like that. It was hard, but I was not like that. Now here's what obesity was to me. Unable to control my cravings, because we all ate for every type of reason we could think of, and we always made excuses to eat, so we was unable to control my cravings. And I was feeling worthless. I was feeling like if I was gone, it would be easier on my son and my family, which obviously it wouldn't have been, but that's what you're feeling. Isolation. Whatever I got done from work, whatever, I just stayed at home. I didn't want to go out because I know the looks and stuff I would have got. And it's self-suicide, because you're feeling worthless and you feel the world would be better off, so you're kind of in your own little pity party, is the best way I can explain that. And this is, you're a burden to your loved ones, and you really are. I mean, my son done a lot for me. Even though I was able to get up and get down, do stuff like that, my son was the one that went to the store while his dad sat down in the truck and dropped him off, which is really unfair for him. And it's killing your family members because they know what's going on, and they're just waiting for the day that somebody would pass away. What I regret most about it was being able not to play with my son. I was able to pretend coach. I was never able to coach. I was just there. I was never to go out you know, like other dads could do, go fishing or play sports and stuff with his son. That's my most regret. I took something out of my son's childhood, and that's really hard for me to talk about. And see, this stuff is really, you know, when you're speaking like this, it's hard to get what you want to put out without getting all emotional. But that's what most people think about obesity people. You know, about a year before I started this, I woke up one morning, I couldn't breathe. I go to the hospital, and they went in there. Then they took my blood pressure. Couldn't believe it was normal. My sugar was like 115. I'm 760 pounds ish. And all they done was the nurses was making comments at me, and then the doctor couldn't believe that I'm here. And they made me smoke that breathing treatment and sent me on my way. So here's a guy who's almost deaf, and they done pretty much nothing to help me. And I know a lot of people like that. You know what I mean? John. They let this poor boy out of the hospital, and he was septic in this thing. Gary. Other people. Anna. I mean, there's all kinds of people. Nobody knows what to do. They don't know what to do with people like us. They got all this theory and stuff. I was watching 600 Pound Life and last night, and this guy Joe, this dude's weighing 650 pounds. This trainer who weighs 140 pounds had this dude laying down doing bench press. Now, people that's obese, what happens when we lay down flat on our back? We can't breathe because everything is congestion on our lungs. So, and the stuff he had him, I mean, he's just, there's so many experts around the world about this. They want to talk this, do that, but they don't know. They don't know until they absolutely live it. That's why I got to get off my butt and start making some videos. I want to make 3 a week, and this one I was talking about obesity, and the next one I'm going to do is going to be what's the first steps in overcoming this. I'm sorry if I'm mumbling and going on, but this stuff is obviously deep inside me, and it's hard to come out. I have flashbacks at times. So I'm sorry if it's disappointed or didn't anything. If you leave me some comments underneath of it, whatever questions you want me to ask, feel free, because, you know, not only did God save my life, He gave my son a life. He wouldn't be able to do what he's doing right now. Either his dad would be dead, or if miraculously I was still alive, then he would have to be taking care of me. So thank God.